Have you ever had doubt in your life? 2020 brings in a lot of doubt. With COVID-19, we have a lot of doubt. Do people still recognize me? Do people still want to connect with me? You know, the most important thing is, why is this happening, God? God, are you still close by? And this is what this message is going to impact. It's going to unpack our doubt with God. And can we have that question of doubt to God? Like, can we ask him, like, God, what are you doing in my life? I have so much doubt. God, can you actually be part of this real world that is being here? We're going to look at a forerunner that was for Christ, before Christ, and look at his doubt. Pay closely attention. I'm excited for this message. Thank you.
If this isn't real, it'll wither away and cease to exist, just like everything else. Everyone just believed that it was this sure thing, but I couldn't. How can I accept something I don't know is real? How can I believe in a God I can't see? I've never been a blind follower. My unanswered questions cripple me from trusting anything. But all doubt washed away when I stood face to face with my Creator. The first time I actually tried to talk to God, He became real to me. I couldn't go on living like I didn't believe what I knew to be true. My doubt challenged God's existence, but my unbelief was defeated in His presence.
Hey, welcome back. Have you ever had that same doubt like that guy in the video of these questions of doubt, and then Christ appeared to you in your struggle, in your doubt? I'm starting a new series called Disillusion: What to Do When We Doubt. Title of my sermon is, Can I Have Doubt? You know, as a Christian, can I have doubt? As a person that is chasing after God, have doubt? And we're going to unpack that in this short time that I have with you. So pay closely attention, because have I had doubt in 2020? Yes, I have. You know, one question is, God, where are you at in COVID-19? But my spiritual journey in 2020 has actually gotten closer with God. So here we see in this message in Matthew 11, chapter 2 through 26, of what we see John having doubt. Doubt. There are many times in our life when we can have doubt. We can have doubt about our government, our family, our friends, and even ourselves. One of the biggest struggles is when Christians doubt God. Christians sometimes don't know what to do with these feelings of spiritual conflict and deep intellectual questions. Is doubt the same as not believing in God? Will God stop listening to my prayers? Can I take my questions and doubt before God? And we find that out here in Matthew 11, 2 through 6. John the Baptist, who was in prison, heard about all the things the Messiah was doing. So he sent his disciples to ask Jesus, are you the Messiah we've been expecting, or should we keep looking for someone else? Jesus told them, go back to John and tell him what you have heard and seen. The blind see, the lame walk, those with leprosy are cured, the deaf hear, the dead are raised to life, and the good news is being preached to the poor. And he added, God bless those who do not fall away because of me. My first point here is, as a Christian, can I have doubt? As a Christian, can I have doubt? Even John the Baptist had his moments of doubt. John, who was the forerunner for Christ, baptized Christ, proclaimed the way of Jesus, and told the crowds, "Behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world." We find that in John 1:29. But John was arrested and sat in Herod's Antipas jail. John sent his disciples to ask Jesus, "Are you the one who is to come, or shall we look for another?" We find that in verse 3. John Bloom describes John's doubtful struggle, but stuck alone in the Purdue cell, he was assaulted by horrible accusing thoughts. What if it had been wrong? There had been many false prophets at this time in Israel. What made him so sure that he wasn't one? What if he had led thousands astray? The thought of being executed for the sake of the righteous and justice he could bear. But he could not bear the thought that he might have been wrong about Jesus. He was tasked was to prepare the way of the Lord. If he had gotten that wrong, his ministry, his life was in vain. Here's John the Baptist. He's in prison and he's having some doubt. He sends people, and that's going to be like my second point. As a Christian, can I send someone to see the truth? Can I send someone to see the truth? You know, that's many a times where we're probably questioning even a chapel service. Is it actually doing what I needed to do? Is it going to fulfill my spiritual needs? Should I attend chapel? Should I attend small groups? Should I attend a life group? Those are probably some doubts of where we probably need to go check it out ourselves. But we could send someone and say, "Hey, report back to me." And that's what John did. And Jesus answers John the Baptist's doubt by saying, "Go and tell John what you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have good news to preach to them. And blessed to the one who is not offended by me." We find that in verse 6. Jesus didn't tell John that he was bad for having a moment of doubt. He didn't say, "Well, that's it. You're out of God's family." Jesus answered him and told him the truth. So is it wrong to be a Christian and doubt? No. And we find that a little bit closer here in my third point. As a Christian, can I make someone fall away? And that's where he was actually referring in verse 6. Fall away. You know, that's where we get our word from, scandalize. And as a Christian, can I make someone fall away from God? And here is a good point, that an article that I read while preparing this message. God knows that we will have questions and doubt because we cannot see the big picture like he does. That's why he repeatedly tells us in his word to trust and chill. Like, do not fear. But God also tells us to pursue the development of our faith. Doubt is a great motivator to feel this pursuit. You know, we can look at fear in a different way too, because fear in the Old Testament, or fear throughout the whole Bible, is actually to honor God, to bring him glory, to honor him in all we do. So even if we doubt, we could actually doubt him like, "God, I don't know what's going on here, but can you reveal something to me?" That's a form of a doubt. Another article I read while preparing this message is by Wade Burton. Writes, "I believe that there's at least 3 kinds of doubt. There's intellectual, emotional, and moral doubt. Intellectual doubt is when our minds are unsure the teachings of Christianity are true. Emotional doubt is most often associated with pain. It's when we don't feel like Christianity is true. Moral doubt, the third kind of doubt, usually happens when we are tempted to disbelieve Christianity because we don't want it to be true. We find that in the book of when Wade is writing this, we're failing faith when what you thought you knew about God doesn't work in the real world. You know, maybe our doubts are intellectual and we are questioning God's creation as it relates to science. Maybe our suffering causes us to wonder if God really is there and cares about us. Or maybe we are doing something wrong and we don't want God to be right. All these doubts are things that Christians have wrestled with for centuries. We can find evidence and try to make answers, but at the end of the day, the doubt takes us on a journey of continued spiritual formation. You know, I reflect back to James, where he's talking about the perseverance. He's talking about a trial. He's talking about, I would say, a trail. At the end of our trial, of our trail of perseverance, we come out of that more mature than what we went in because we actually got closer with God. Our maturity grew. Will we use our doubts to pursue Jesus? And that's my life change goal to you guys, is will we use our doubts to pursue Jesus? Because we have doubts that we walk through every day. But when we start to bring God into the midst of everything, He's going to show us a different angle of what we need to do. John the Baptist, he saw something. He baptized Jesus. He announced to the whole world. John the Baptist spoke about Jesus. When he was in prison, he kind of had some doubt. Just like John the Baptist, Christians will go through seasons of doubt, but that doubt can become a time of spiritual formation. Hey, I'm excited about this series. I cannot wait to see or hear about what is happening in your life, because each one of us is on our own spiritual journey here on this real world when we bring the supernatural of God to this real world environment. Thank you for watching.